Hello and welcome to our series looking at Adam Smith's book, The Wealth of Nations. Today we're looking at Chapter 1 of the Division of Labour. Smith begins his book with what he thinks is one of the most important achievements of modern societies, the division of labour. In other words, having specialised people focused on specialised tasks. By breaking jobs down into specific tasks done by people trained and experienced in that task, societies could be much more productive. Adam Smith lived through a time of incredible change we now call the Industrial Revolution, when people began to produce goods in factories on an industrial scale. Look around you now. It's likely most things you own were made in a factory. Hundreds of years ago, products were expensive and most people only owned a few possessions. The ability to mass produce things in modern factories has made items much cheaper to produce and has given people today a level of wealth unimaginable a few hundred years ago. Think about it, many of the most expensive things today are handmade. When Smith was writing The Wealth of Nations in the 1770s, people were just beginning to industrialise, and his native Scotland was one of the first places in the world to develop modern industry. The 1760s had seen the invention of new technology such as a spinning jenny, a machine for spinning wool, and the first industrial-scale textile mills. The development of steam power would go on to increase man's productivity, but that had not yet happened. Factories in the time Adam Smith was writing were mostly limited to the same levels of technology man had had for thousands of years, limited in power to the work that could be done by a man, an animal, a sail, or a water wheel. What had changed, though, was the division of labour. While cotton and textiles were what powered the Industrial Revolution, Smith uses the manufacturing of metal pins to demonstrate his ideas about the division of labour. Producing a metal pin involves different stages: drawing out a piece of wire, straightening out the wire, cutting it, sharpening one end into a point, grinding the top of it to add the pin head, and so on. Smith suggests that one man working alone, unfamiliar with the specialised tool for each stage, could make only one pin a day, and even working as hard as he could, would never reach 20 a day. But a small group of men working together, each specialised in just one part of the process, could make many thousands of pins. In Smith's opinion, the division of labour improves productivity in at least 3 different ways. First, people who specialise in just one task naturally get better at doing it through repeated practice. They learn the skill and become much more efficient. Secondly, by just working on one task within a process, they save the time it takes to switch between tasks. Modern studies in cognitive science have shown this to be true. Known as task switching, it carries a substantial cost in productivity. A review in 2006, published by the American Psychological Association, shows that repeated task switching can cost as much as 40% of a person's productive capacity. 3. The division of labour can lead to advancements in technology. A person who specialises in one particular task is likely to find better ways to do it and to develop better machinery and tools for the job. A job like pin making is a great example of something that can seem simple, but which has room for great improvements. Smith ends the chapter with a remark on the cumulative effects of the division of labour. One ordinary workman with one task relies on the support of many other craftsmen, farmers and merchants. The clothes he wears, for example, require the interactions of many different kinds of specialised labourers, as do his tools, his home, his food and his drink. The living standards of the working class required the cooperation of many thousands. Okay, join us next time and we will look at what causes the division of labour.